Hello, everyone. My name is Stephen Hilborn, and this is assignment 4, explanation. So I'm just going to pull up the document here that you're going to be looking at. So what this is I've done some adjustments. I believe this assignment is worth more than the 7.5% that I originally assigned it. So we're going to reduce one of the other 5% assignments and remove it. And what I'm going to do is for this assignment 4 and the next one, assignment 5, one's front of house, one's back of house, they will both be worth 10%. I will allow you to complete them in pairs, and I'm going to give you an extra week in which to complete this. Okay, so this one coming up will be due on Sunday, March 19th, and that's just before midnight. So what you will be creating is a space that is 50 feet by 80 feet. So it's a fairly large space. And I'll give you a marking scheme below so you know all the details. The space will include the entrance into the area with a vestibule waiting area, a bar, dining room with table layout, minimum seating for 48, and a patio with table layout, minimum seating for 24. You will have to have washrooms, an entrance and or an exit or pass through into the back house. So basically you're letting me know where the kitchen's going to be located. And you can simply put a door and say exit, entrance to kitchen. Server stations or station, and then one major decor or design feature. And we're going to include a picture of this in your supporting material. So in your supporting material, you're going to create a 4-person table or find a 4-person table, source from a Canadian restaurant furniture supplier, and you'll give me the price for the table and for the chairs, as well as provide me a paragraph describing the overall theme of your restaurant, maybe the description of the type of menu. As you design the space, start deciding what you think this place would be, where it might be located, or what kind of food it would be serving, what kind of customer would you see. Stick to something that you're familiar with if you like, or something that you think is really neat, or research something. A couple additional instructions is label all main areas and features, including service stations and service bar. Make sure that the traffic areas are adequate for their purposes so that people can walk around and all tables and chairs can be accessed by servers. You are going to submit 2 pieces of information here. So one's going to be the PDF, which is your design, as well as submitting a PowerPoint or Word document, whatever is easier, with the supporting material and pictures and things of that nature. Here's the restaurant furniture suppliers that you can choose from. Again, it's simply sourcing a 4-person table that you think makes sense for your theme. And here's the marking scheme. So the marking scheme should really help you out as you go through each individual area. So entrance has an entrance through the vestibule to a space that there's a host stand and waiting space for customers. The waiting space should have no line of sight of the tables. So if you're sitting there waiting for a meal, you shouldn't be able to look at the customers eating their food, and should be closely related to where the washrooms are located. The bar area, the service bar, should have a top bar as well as an under bar. So the top bar is where you're going to put your drinks up. It's where people will be eating their food. But on the lower bar is where a lot of your sinks and storage and where you might be cutting vegetables and garnishes and things like that underneath. So I'll show you quickly right after this how you would do that in Visio. There should be a specific area as well labeled to show the service area, and no customer should be able to sit in that particular service bar area. And then also you want the bartenders to be able to walk behind. And there should be a back bar. So somewhere in that bar area on a wall should be a back bar with room for equipment, displays, liquor bottles, draft taps, POS, whatever it is. I won't go into too much here, but for dining room, seating for 48 and patio seating for 24. Easy to identify traffic flow so people know where they're walking. You can include any stools in the bar in this number as well. And same with the patio area, room for 24. Easily accessible either through the dining room area or the host bar area. This is built within that 50 by 80 feet. And on the patio, since it is a patio, umbrellas, plants, water features, all these things are good to include. washrooms enough for everyone, one of which must have a accessible washroom, as you've seen in the PowerPoint, with a 60-inch turnaround. Server station located in there somewhere, some design, some color, some flooring, like give it a little life, get a little bit of a personality. Overall traffic flow, I'm going to mark you on just to make sure there's no areas that are losing any traffic flow. And then your supporting material, which is worth 6 of the 25. 4-seater table and chairs with costs and pictures of them, a picture of that design element that we spoke about above, and a paragraph of the theme of the bar area. So that's totally out of 25 marks. Now you can do it individually. Some people think that it's easier to work on your own, and I have no problem with that whatsoever. So I'm just going to pull a Visio here for you. So if I'm creating a new floor plan, I'll just pull it over. Maybe. There it is. So what I will be doing, as always, is when I go for a new floor plan, this actually gives me space that is 90 by 140. You know what? If you want to just keep this one when you start one, that's completely fine. I'm going to start a room, and I'm going to add it. I'm going to say I need this to be 50 feet by 80 feet. And I'm actually going to change that because I want it to go the other way. So I'm going to say I want it to be 80 feet by 50 feet. Okay. So this is my space that I'm working with, and I'm just going to, oh, I lost my picture of me. Well, you don't need to see me anyway. So I'm going to zoom in here. So now you, at this point, should understand how to do tables and walls and doors. You did a bathroom, so you should be able to do a washroom. Some of the main areas that you might have some difficulty with is that we're going to have to separate some areas into a main dining room and bar area. There's going to have to be a patio. So somewhere in this design, I'm going to have to cordon off an area and say it's going to be a patio. So pulling in a 50 by 80 space might not actually work that well, or I'm going to have to pull in at some other areas and say this is going to be my patio and just work with it. Now, it could be anywhere. I'm just doing this just as an example. It might not even fit all the tables that I needed to, but it gives me an idea of what I'm working with. So if that's going to be my patio, then maybe I'll just throw my entrance doors in here. And maybe because I'm throwing it in there, I'm also going to include that as my vestibule. Oh, that's a very big vestibule. It's probably too big. But yeah, I would probably change this. I would probably make the vestibule entrance a little bit smaller and change up my patio area, something like that. Anyways, I'm going to move on. So there's going to be 2 sets of doors that are going to go through there because, again, this is just all about saving heat. So I want to be able to go in and then go into the next spot, somewhere around here, maybe a host desk. But what I really want to show you is the bar. So most bars, you can do round bars or circle bars that kind of live within the middle of a floor plan. But for the most part, you don't want to do that. You want to use one of your back walls because this is going to be the wall that'll go in, that'll fall against the kitchen. So for a bar, what I'm going to recommend is that you go into office equipment and furniture, maybe office accessories. You want to throw in furniture in here, garden accessories because we're going to have a patio, maybe sports fields and recs. I think they have their little pools and stuff, and that should be more than enough. So when I'm designing a bar, and I'm going to zoom in here, way too much. I'm going to zoom up. Okay. I have this area. I'm just going to say the bar is going to be in this general vicinity. So a couple things that I can do. I can do the bar just against a back wall. I can also do the bar maybe in an L fashion. So I'm going to choose an L fashion. And because I want to do that, I'm going to find office furniture, and in office furniture has these corner surfaces, work surface, round corner that you can use, and I think it's going to work great. So I'm actually going to put the bar down here in the corner, although not a great floor plan, but just for today. So what I'm going to do is create a bar. So here we go. We have this L bar that maybe I'll put it right up against the wall, and this is how the customer will get around it. Now the thing for this is that we also will have to add in here an underbar. So as I mentioned before, if you right click and go on properties, I am able to change the depth and size. So 24 inches is 2 feet. That's actually not horrible as far as depth for a bar top. You might want to go 30, but 24 works fine. I also want to put an underbar. So I want to show that there's something underneath this that I'm going to be working with. So I can copy and paste this item, place it underneath. I'm going to change the sizing out here a little bit. And then once I have this, I'm going to send to the back. By doing so, I'm showing that there is something, an underbar space that I'm working on. And then if I want to go and add, just to kind of show this a little bit easier, what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a sink in here. So you gotta have a sink at your bar, gotta wash stuff. So I'm just going to put the sink in. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to send this backwards once, so it's below this top bar, but inside this bottom bar. So it's just showing that I can reach in and work in this sink area. And then I might also grab a dishwasher and put the dishwasher right up in here. So now you start seeing how this kind of looks, where I have this bar area, the bartender will be back here. I'm sharing this back wall, so fridges and all kinds of stuff can go beyond there. I can serve, so I can find some stools in here, wherever they might be. Here's some stools. Copy a few of these. And same thing, I press Control, I'm going to highlight all these, and then send them to the back. How do I do that? Right here on this side. Send to front, send to back. So now they're kind of tucked in underneath the bar. So you get an idea. Here's a little bar. It's only a 4-seater. You might put a couple around here. You do want a space for a service bar. So a service bar is going to be an area that the customer or the employees can come and take a look and grab their drinks without a customer sitting there. So I'm going to put something here to show that service bar area. There's often a mat or a guard or something. So I'm going to actually use a handle because I think we need to use handles anyways. And handle. I know we used them before, but you have to get clever with this. So there's no handle. I know there's a handle somewhere in here. But we're looking. You know what? I'm going to use this right here. So this is going to dictate my service bar area. So it goes from this wall over to here. I'll double click on it and I'll put a little call out, a little text box, and just call it service bar. Because they're going to bring their empty drinks that I can put in the dishwasher. I'm probably going to tuck this dishwasher under more. So you see what I did there? Dishwasher's underneath, service bar. So made, finished drinks will go up here. Empty drinks, glassware will go here as well. And this is my little bar area. Now from there, I can start creating. That's really small. You might want to make it bigger. You might want to make it a different size. It's totally up to you. But that'll give you an idea of how you want to start laying out this place. Now remember, washrooms need to go in here still. If I'm looking at this as the layout, there's probably going to be a host area, waiting maybe area in this vicinity somewhere. And I'm going to have maybe some washrooms along this wall, something blocking some of the view, and then all of the majority of my tables will be just right in this space. So that should give you a start, give you an idea of how it's done. Again, please review the PowerPoint for some more ideas, and feel free to look online for more ideas of layouts. Like again, the world is your oyster. There's so much information out there. It's not out of touch. You just can't use it as your own, but you can use it for inspiration. So I recommend you do so. This is due March 19th in pairs. And please come to class and we will go through this whole thing as well. Thanks.